People who keep their dogs outside 100% of the time are total trash. I get it, different strokes for different folks and all that, but keeping your dog/s pinned up in the backyard all day and night is downright deplorable. Your animals should be seen as family and treated like so. You wouldn't throw Gram out in the yard in plus 85-degree weather just cause you don't want her on the couch. When you get a dog, you gain an equal member of the family. Period. It kills me to see my neighbors' dogs out in the yard 24/7 just existing. I know they're home, but they just leave them there to die of boredom and absolutely beg for attention. Ugh, it breaks my heart, because what kind of life is that for them? It's the same thing as locking them in a cage for hours on end, but it's just bigger. Only coming out to tell at them to shut up and scream. I honestly don't see the point in getting a dog at all if all you plan to do with it is out of sight out of mind it in the yard till the day it dies. All that's doing is abusing the poor creature. It's wrong, it's cruel, and it's just downright not how you doggone treat a puppernai. I may be biased cause my dogs are spoiled as hell and I grew up in a house that always had dogs sharing a couch and a bed with us, but seeing how lonely and bored my neighbors' dogs are kills me inside and makes me hold my babies even more. Alternatively, people who keep their dogs inside 100% of the time are total trash. Depending on how they're kept outside, I agree. If they are given enough space, 24/7 access to water, and appropriate shelter, I'm okay with it. If it's like a previous neighbor, however, then I completely agree. They would put their dog in the side part of their backyard, between the houses, from about 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The area was maybe 5x15, ground was large gravel, 1-2, and was also used to store ladders, wheelbarrows, lawnmower, etc. The only time they wouldn't put her out is if it was pouring rain, freezing cold, minus 15 degrees Celsius, or above 30 degrees Celsius. I'd have to disagree to some degree. If the dog has a huge yard, say on a farm, and it's fenced with water and food plus maybe another dog or two, I wouldn't see anything wrong with that as long as the weather conditions are mostly neutral, and they still have shelter from the elements while being exercised daily and given attention, then I would say it's fine. But your neighbor's dogs certainly should be given something to do, or they better at least be doing lots with them. Of course, I know you are talking about more in the towns, but in general some of dogs kept outside can have a great life too, especially if they are energetic. The real unpopular opinion: dogs are outside animals. I grew up on a farm and our dogs lived outside full time with the exception of dangerously hot/cold weather. Pretty sure they were about as happy as any dogs could hope to be. Hard not to anthropomorphize here. If we consider that dogs lived exclusively outdoors for about 14,950 out of their 15,000 years as domesticated animals, I think it requires nuance. Do they have another dog to interact with? A large area to roam with lots of stimulation? Are the owners outside with them every day? Are they working or farm dogs? Does that individual dog greatly prefer the outdoors? I think taking a traditional working breed and locking them inside while you're away all day at your IT job is a much more mundane life. There's lots of farm dogs who stay out 24/7 and have a great life. Well, let me make a real unpopular opinion: what difference does it make from your dog and a goat, or chicken? Like, I don't think anyone would put up a fuss for keeping other animals in the backyard. Just throwing my 2 cents in here. I have a beautiful shepherd. If it was up to her, we would be camping on a farm that she can live and play outside the entire time. She loves outdoors. I have to disagree for the most part. I've had quite a few dogs and they've all been 100% outside dogs. They would even refuse to come inside most of the time, and when the weather was really bad we had to trick them into coming inside or force them. I'll also go further and say that the people who get dogs and live in a tiny ass house or apartment and keeps their dogs inside is the real abusers. My dogs were as happy as could be and live well past their life expectancies, and even the vet would compliment that they were healthy dogs. They loved running all over the place and never wanted for anything. In the case of your neighbor who did absolutely nothing with them, I get it, but just because a dog is outside 100% of the time doesn't mean they're abused. I agree if the dog isn't happy. However, I've known some dogs, not my own but friends, that just didn't like being inside. Always wanted to be outside. Don't ever go to Mexico then. Some dogs spend their entire life on a roof. Y'all first world people are sensitive as hell, LMAO. I disagree with almost everything you have said. Yes, if someone is neglecting their dog is one thing, but having them outside is another. I own a husky and huskies are not at all indoor dogs. He thrives being outside and he would have it no other way. Even in the winter when it is storming, he prefers to lay out in the snow, instead of his well-insulated, spacious dog house, because that's what he loves and was made for. He is so loved, taken care of and has everything he needs. Just because he lives outside, doesn't mean he doesn't have a good life and we are bad people. Dogs were born to live outside. They have fur for a fucking reason. Disagree. Asterisk, not every house can handle a dog, too small, your dog poops inside, mud and carpet, a little baby, allergies, the list is long. Asterisk, not every house is in the harshest of winters, and it would be then a matter of not letting the animal be cold, not exactly make it go inside. Same principle with hot weather. Now, I'm not saying have your dog in a leash all day and forget about it, but it's pretty entitled to say that only your way of doing things is loving a dog. LMAO what? They are animals, they are supposed to be outside. I don't know if it's because you've only seen them yards, but people who don't live in neighborhoods, including me, keep their dogs outside all the time in a huge yard. And they like it too. I try to invite them in but they stay outside, they only come in when there are fireworks. People who keep their dogs inside are trash, they aren't supposed to live indoors most of the time. My friend had a dog that was part coyote, and there was literally nothing you could do to get that dog to stay inside. He wanted to be outside all the time, even in -40°C, they made him a heated dog house just in case. The only time he was kept inside was if it was hot as hell, and even then he was whining at the door to go back outside. If it's a situation where the dog wants to be inside, and the owner just ignores it and leaves it out there, then I totally agree though. We have a mutt we found on the side of the road, he refuses to be inside when we bring him in and for a long time wouldn't even use his 3 dog houses. We keep him fed with plenty of water of course, but he just hates it inside. He's not a small dog either, he's a medium-large husky. Mutt and loves being outside. The only time he goes in his doghouse is when it rains. If you see your family like you see dogs, you're mentally ill and / or a sociopath. I'd be ashamed if any of my family also saw dogs as family. Also, I'm not sure if you know this, but wild dogs actually live outside. If anything, it's abuse to put them in a house, which is not the natural habitat of animals.